go back to 1998. The entire country of Indonesia is in an economic freefall. It's one of the worst financial crises you can imagine. But right in the middle of all this chaos, something truly unbelievable was happening in one small, remote part of the country.
So you've got this picture of total chaos. Protests in the cities, businesses going under, and the local currency, the rupiah, losing over 500% of its value. Insane, right? But then you look over at the green hills of Kepahiang, this little coffee-growing region, and it's a completely different story. As the rest of the country was spiraling into poverty, these folks were on the verge of getting incredibly rich. So that's the big question, isn't it? How on earth does that happen? How does one tiny community suddenly strike it rich while everyone else is going broke? Well, the answer? It's a wild story about luck, choices, and, honestly, a huge lesson for all of us.
To really get this, we need to quickly talk about what was actually going on during that 1998 crisis. I mean, it was a total perfect storm, right? You had the currency collapsing, massive corporate debt, political chaos. The whole thing just sent these huge shockwaves through every single part of Indonesian society.
You know, for anyone living in the cities, this was an absolute nightmare. Imagine your life savings just disappearing overnight. Businesses were shutting their doors left and right. Millions of people lost their jobs. Just total uncertainty. But here's the thing about Indonesia. It's not just cities. And out in the countryside, in the farming areas, the entire economic playbook was about to get flipped on its head.
Okay, so let's get to the heart of it. Why did this one little region get so lucky? The reason is actually kind of simple, but its effect was massive. And it all boils down to one thing: what they were growing. Coffee.
And here's the kicker. The international coffee market, it doesn't use local currency. It's all priced in US dollars. And that, right there, changed absolutely everything. Think about it. Everyone else in the country is stuck with a currency that's becoming worthless. But these farmers, they were basically earning in dollars, the one currency that was getting stronger and stronger against their own.
The difference was just mind-blowing. Let's say you sold some coffee for a few bucks. Before the crisis, you'd convert that to rupiah, and it's a decent amount of money. But during the crisis, those same few US dollars suddenly turned into a mountain of local cash. They called it the Masa Kopi Mahal, the expensive coffee era. And for a little while, Kepahiang was absolutely booming. So what happens when a community that's been pretty modest for generations suddenly gets hit with a tidal wave of cash? Well, you get exactly what you might expect: a spending frenzy. A kind of euphoria just took over the whole region. And you could see it everywhere. The local markets were packed, cash was just flying around, people were finally fixing up their houses, buying brand new motorcycles, you name it. It really felt like the good times were never gonna end. But, and this is a big but, almost nobody was stopping to ask the one question that mattered. Hey, what happens when this party is over? Yeah, this amazing prosperity, it was really just a bubble. And lurking just underneath the surface were two huge problems that were quietly eating away at the foundation, getting ready to bring the whole thing crashing down. So the first issue was pretty straightforward: money management, or a lack of it. This windfall was treated like it was never going to end, so the money just got spent instead of being saved or invested. But at the same time, a second, sneakier problem was growing out in the coffee fields themselves, one that would end up hurting their reputation for a long, long time. Okay, so this is the second major problem. See, to get top dollar for coffee, you need to be really careful. You're supposed to pick only the perfectly ripe red coffee cherries. But now, with coffee being worth so much, theft was a massive problem. So what did farmers do? Out of fear, they just started picking everything all at once. The good red ones, the unripe green ones, all of it mixed together. And that just tanked the quality. Suddenly, they were stuck selling a cheap, low-grade product, and they completely lost their access to the premium market. And just like that, as quickly as the boom started, it began to fade. The party was over. And in the quiet aftermath, the community had to deal with the fallout, leaving us with a really powerful lesson that applies to, well, pretty much everyone.
I mean, look, booms like this almost never last, right? As the Indonesian economy started to get back on its feet and global coffee prices began to normalize, that expensive coffee era was officially over. The flood of cash slowed down to just a trickle, and boy, did reality hit hard.
And the result was just heartbreaking. All that wealth, it was just gone, poof, because it was all spent on things, not invested in the future, not in better farming, not in savings, not in new businesses. There was nothing left. The irony is, a lot of people ended up having to sell those new motorcycles and the new roofs they'd bought just to make ends meet. When you really boil it down, this story isn't really about coffee, is it? Or even about a financial crisis. It's a classic cautionary tale. It's about understanding money, it's about having a long-term plan, and it's about that very human thing we all do, focusing on the good times right now instead of planning for tomorrow. It's really a story about what happens when a huge opportunity just lands in your lap unexpectedly.
And that's really the question we're left with, right? It's so easy for us to sit here and point out the mistakes. But let's be honest, if some kind of crazy windfall happened in your town today, would we really do any better? It's a pretty sobering thought. It just goes to show you that wealth isn't about how much money you get, it's about what you do with it.